The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
1420 Sports Bar Podcast, Yankees Week in Review. Listen in throughout the baseball season as we will go over the week that was for the New York Yankees. We'll talk about what went right, what went wrong this week, this day in Yankees history, Yankees birthdays, and predictions of what the Bronx Bombers record will be at the end of the upcoming week. It's 1420 Yankees Week in Review, the Yankee Tavern North, brought to you by SeatGeek. So put on your pinstripes, grab a beer, and let's get in. All right, the 1420 Yankee Week in Review, and what a week it was. We'll get that in half a second. But first of all, today's show is brought to you by SeatGeek.com, the SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com today and save yourself $20 on your first purchase. Get some baseball tickets or for the upcoming season, show tickets, concert tickets, whatever you want for your holiday season over there at SeatGeek.com. Use promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com today. Remember, we are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Go to bellyupsports.com for all their great articles and other podcasts that are on there. We get some great news from Belly Up a little earlier on today if you're here at 1420 World Headquarters, otherwise known as the Yankee Tavern North. And thank you to everybody who listens to our show on a daily basis or watches on YouTube. We appreciate all the support we get from everybody out there in radio land, YouTube land, podcast land, whatever it is however you get us in your ears on a daily basis. Well, Brian Cashman has partially redeemed himself. He went out and he got the big free, I wouldn't say the free agent fish. He went out and got the fish that's going to be a free agent next year. It might be for a 1-year deal, but he went out and got himself a hell of a ball player with Juan Soto, a trade that they made with the San Diego Padres, something that kind of left the table, got brought off about this time last week. So it didn't look like it was going to happen, but Cashman went out and got it done. The deal kind of sorts out. Everybody's kind of heard it already, but we'll just go through it one last time. Soto and Trent Grisham, who's a very good defensive center fielder, a Gold Glove kind of center fielder. Not sure where he's going to play now, but that's another story from the other day. We'll worry about that later. For Michael King, Johnny Brito, Randy Vasquez, who else was on there? Kyle Higashioka, and minor league pitcher who's supposed to be a real stud, Drew Thorpe. That one kind of stings a little bit, but prospects are just prospects, as we always say. Prospects are cool, but rings are cooler. One of those things with Thorpe, but he was projected to be a pitcher in a couple of years, but you never know what he might get, and you got to give something to get something. And Cashman went out and did that with this trade, and with Soto there, they got the keys to a Ferrari for 1 year and see what they can do and see if maybe they can see what they got, kind of coddle his nuts a little bit and see if they can sign him long term. That deal is going to be a tricky one. We'll see what happens later on today with the Ohtani thing is supposed to be minutes away apparently with the him going to the Blue Jays. All signs are going that could change. Who knows then? But the Yankees might, or the Blue Jays might talk a little too much between now and then. The deal might get thrown away, but you never know with the Ohtani sweepstakes. And if the Jays get him, great. But this isn't a Blue Jays podcast today. It's all about the New York Yankees and getting Soto, and they got a guy who's arguably going to be one of the best players to ever play the game if he can stay healthy and on. But his metrics are all BS, as my friend over at the Fan of the Van says. Batting average, home runs, RBIs, those are the ones that matter, and those are the ones that matter to me as well. But with Soto, you got a guy who can hit and a guy who gets on base. He walks a lot, and so that's going to really help a guy like Aaron Judge boost his numbers. And you think about that lineup now, it's kind of going to look like the 04 Boston Red Sox with Manny Ramirez and Big Pappy David Ortiz was something that Stanton and Judge were supposed to be for such a long time. But with the problems that Giancarlo Stanton has, not being able to hit the baseball anymore and not being able to get on base anymore, now you have a Soto, Judge 2-3 in the lineup. We'll get to the projected lineup in a second here, but you have two guys who are going to see a lot more pitches because one is so great, and it's going to do nothing but help that Yankees lineup 100% for 1 year. And that 1 year, you wonder why Cashman would have went out and did this. You wonder why he would have went out and made some deals with some prospects. It's usually they hang on to prospects for far too long and hang on to guys who are on the brink far too long. You remember the Clint Frazier situation that they didn't get anybody, and Miguel Andujar, and on it goes. how Cashman held on to those guys. So he went out and he made this deal. He got rid of a lot of guys, and then he made another deal with Verdugo, getting him over on Monday night. I think that deal went through. We'll get to that one in a second too, because I'm not a big Verdugo fan, and it turns out some other guys aren't either. So maybe I wasn't wrong about the guy, but we'll get to that in half a second. But the thing about getting a guy like Soto, you can woo him a little bit to all the glory that is being a New York Yankee. You can woo him a little bit to say, okay, here's what we can offer, here's what we got, and then they'll know what he'll be looking for, because they'll be around him the most, and maybe they can get in Boris's ear a little bit, as he's a Boris client, and usually Boris clients don't sign ahead of time, but at the end of the day, the clients works for the player, right? So maybe Soto, if he can get wooed and champagned and everything else, wined and dined the whole bit, you never know, for a year he might say, you know what, I like it here, why not sign a contract here long term and get something done? Because the thing is with Soto, he's only 25 years old, and he's not even in the prime of his career. Like usually in baseball players, the prime of their career is 28 to 31 years old, and that's when the decline starts happening. And that's one thing I like about this deal. I like that Cashman went out and did it, and I think it was to Steinbrenner's a bit of prodding, because Steinbrenner has a situation. He's got a couple of thoroughbreds waiting to go in the tank there, or at Yankee Stadium. They're in the pen waiting to go with Garrett Cole and Aaron Judge, who are long-term deals, spending a lot of money on those guys and not getting much in return. So they went out and made that deal for Soto, saying, okay, you know what, we're serious about winning this year, and we're going to go out and do something. And if it's a one-year deal and it happens, great. Fantastic. And if Soto moves on, I'm not saying the Yankees are by any means a World Series contender right now. They're not, because they have some other holes to fill, obviously, with their pitching stuff. But now with their payroll at $290 million, you know that Steinbrenner is going to say, you know what, we have these guys. Let's not waste how many years of control that we have over these guys. We want to make sure they win. Judge is on his last contract of his career, no matter what. And then Cole, he has the opt-out clause. He's got to come back. It's a lot of lawyer speak when it comes to the Cole contract. But yeah, they have his two generational talents in that lineup, and you have some other players who are very good baseball players. And Stanton, if he can get out of his own way a little bit, you never know what might happen there. But going out and get a guy like Soto, it means that they're serious about getting something done, and they're serious about winning this year. And so now you wonder what the next step is. Now that you have Soto in that lineup, the next step is you got to go get some pitching, because last year that was kind of their Achilles heel, because right now the pitching's the same as it was this time last year. Let's not sugarcoat this. Let's not say this team's a World Series contender all of a sudden because they got a guy hitting in the 2-hole that gets on base a lot and hits a lot of home runs, and a left-handed bat at that, the short porch. But let's not kid ourselves here. The Yankees are still in the same predicament that they were this time last year. But now they are committed 100% to spending more money. The problem the situation that the Yankees have, so it's a problem and a situation. The situation the Yankees have now is by going out and getting Soto and going out and getting Verdugo, they made some deals that they don't have a lot of prospects in the cupboard. Like the pool is pretty empty now, and it's one of those things. So now they're going to be forced to probably go and overpay for a free agent, because everybody knows, you know what, here's your team, or the free agent pitchers are going to say, here you go, because you want to win, I'll come and help you. Do they go out and get a Blake Snell? Do they go out and bring back Jordan Montgomery, which they're going to have to overpay? They should have kept him around 2 years ago and not went and got Harrison Bader. But you can't look in the past when it comes to this. So the Yankees have a situation now where they don't have a lot of prospects to trade, because there are some guys in Major League Baseball looking to unload some pitchers. You look at the Milwaukee Brewers looking to get rid of Corbin Burns. He's only a $14 million guy, but he's got 2 years of control left this year and next year and the 24 and 25 season. So the Brewers are going to want something in return. What is in the prospect pool the Yankees have? Yeah, there's a lot of players, and who knows what they might have. You got another guy, Dylan Cease, with the Chicago White Sox, and the White Sox are in full breakdown mode. They're in full sell, rebuild the whole bit, and he's only $8.3 million this year. Do they go out and get him? But what's it left in the play in the prospect pool? Not a whole bunch. So they're going to have to go out and overspend. But the thing is, you go out and get the Yamamoto guy from Japan who's looking at signing either with the Mets or the Yankees, from what I've read. And so there's a guy right there that will help out your pitching staff, which you have right now as of this moment. You have Garrett Cole and a bunch of who knows. That's what you have. That's all you have. Nestor Cortez, you don't know what you're getting with him. Apparently, I was listening to something earlier on that he's pitching right now off the mound again. You just don't know what you're going to get out of him. I just don't see how you can rely on him a whole bunch. Rodon, you don't know what you're going to get out of him. He's going to have a bounce back here, and if he's seven-tenths of what he's supposed to be, then they'll be okay. But they have that right now. It's who knows. So they're going to have to overspend and go get Yamamoto and the Steinbrenners and the Yankees. They're committed to spending, and I think it has to happen because why else would they make this deal? Why else would they make this deal for a 1-year guy? Give up prospects, give up a pitching prospect that they had, and everything else. It wouldn't make sense to not go for it now. And I think you're going to see the Yankees, going back to being the old evil empire and spending over everybody else and buying championships or trying to buy championships, which rarely works, but they have these guys. They're committed to these guys, so they're probably going to end up doing that. And it's too bad for a lot of Yankee fans. Like, I don't care if they win or lose. I shouldn't say if they win or lose. If they buy a championship, I'd rather see them build something like they were trying in, once again, 2017. I wish that team would have won a World Series because that was homegrown talent with a few free agents here and there and a couple of trades at the deadline. But if they end up winning one, or if they end up going to a World Series or getting to the World Series, even would be a bonus for me. And having a guy like Juan Soto on the team, it helps. And the guy is a generational talent. You hate throwing that term out as much as they are, but he is a very, very, very good player. He's going to add a lot of flash. He's going to add a little bit of swagger to that team, and it's going to help the Yankees become something and get a little bit of identity back because they took a kick in the pills all season last year, 82-80. That just don't cut it anywhere. I don't care what team you are. You don't want to finish 82-80. You'd rather finish 60-102. Because having that kind of a record gets you nowhere. Mediocrity breeds mediocrity, and that's what the Yankees are until they went and got Soto the other day. So now they're a much better baseball team. The lineup's going to be much better because you think back in when Judge hit his 62 home run season in 2022, he didn't really have anybody hitting around him. Like, he was seeing a lot of pitches. He was like being pitched around a little bit, but he didn't have anybody at Soto's level in front of him, obviously, to pitch. So they weren't pitching around Judge. So he's going to see a lot more pitches this year because they're not going to keep walking guys. If Rizzo can stay healthy, he'll see some more pitches in the 4-hole. We'll go to the projected lineup right now. Here's what I read today on Bob Nightingale. I put it out there. So LeMahieu hitting first, Soto 2, Judge going to move down to the 3-hole, Rizzo at 4, but his health and his concussion hasn't been really possible, so that gets a little bit worrisome as we get closer to Christmas. You don't know if Rizzo's going to be that guy in the lineup or if he's going to be able to play once it's all said and done. Stanton, we talked about him earlier on. He's projected to be in the 5. Gleyber Torres is going to sit at 6. I suspect that they're going to keep him. They're not going to trade him, I wouldn't think, but unless they can get a big-time pitcher, you just never know. But I think they keep Gleyber Torres because he was one of their biggest producer. Verdugo, we'll get to him in a second. He's going to hit 7. Opening day, Anthony Volpe, Gold Glove winner. It's at shortstop. He had a better season I thought he was going to have last year. He's going to be hitting 9th, and then the catching platoon is going to be probably Trevino's going to be the guy because they did get rid of Higashioka. And a little 14-20 tip of the cap to Kyle Higashioka, who's been in the Yankees organization since 2009, which is a long time. He's drafted by the Yankees and everything else. So for his years of service and sticking around, but now he's going back. He's a California kid, so he's going back home. So that's good for Kyle Higashioka. It's going to get time to play a little bit more. The Yankees were trying to find a way to push him out because to give Austin Wells a little more time behind the plate, a little more time catching, because the Yankees really believe in him, and he's on the cheap, right? One of those things, because you can't have $20 million players at every position. You can't even have $5 million players at every position where you're paying 3 and 4 guys $30 to $40 million bucks. So it's one of those things. So they're going to a much better lineup. Judge is going to see a lot more pitches. Soto's gonna get on base a lot. It's gonna help Rizzo get on base because they're not gonna want to pitch around him. This is nothing but a positive for one season. For one season, for sure, this is 100% a positive on the offensive side of the game. They're going to put up runs. You're going to see Soto hit a whole bunch of home runs to section 203 up in the bleachers. He's a left-handed bat in a short porch. You're going to see him hit some laser beams out there. This guy can flat out hit. He's a great big kid. I can say kid because I'm almost 50, right? So he's a great big kid for to 25. He's got some swagger, and he's going to bring a lot to that locker room. Okay, let's get the elephant in the room a little bit. This Verdugo guy, I'm not a fan of his whatsoever, and I was doing a little research today before the show about this Verdugo character, and it turns out no one really likes this guy. The Boston Red Sox and their fan base was happy to see him go. He had a lot of run-ins the last couple of years. with Cora with the manager out there in Boston. It didn't turn out well for him. They were more than happy to see him go. Management offered to him, even though they had a year left. He was one of their better hitters. They weren't going to win this year, so they got rid of this. How that works, but no one really likes this guy. And the telltale sign was back when in 2017 during the playoffs, Clayton Kershaw, when Verdugo was with the Dodgers, because that's who originally drafted him. Verdugo or Kershaw went to management and said, "Get this guy out of the locker room. Get him out of here. No one likes him. He's a headache. He's got to go." So he's a bit of a headache. He's a bit of a cancer, but he's going into a locker room where Judge is the captain, Judge is the king. And I hate using that term. You guys know I do about a captain in baseball, but Judge is the guy to say, "Listen, dude, this is not how we do things here in New York. Shave your face, get rid of your grill, get rid of all your chains and everything else, and the way you talk and the way you and on and on." The guy can play. The guy can play. He's not going to be expected to be the big dog there in New York. So if he just keeps his yap shut, but when you get to a point in your age, trust me, I know. I talk for a living. I talk all the time. But when you get to a point in your age, that this is who you are. You don't got to tell people who you are every day because they already know. And there's something about this guy that I don't like, but hopefully when he comes into New York, it's like it's our way or the highway. See you later. If you don't like it, we'll trade you right now. I actually thought he was going to be part of the trade to San Diego. I thought that's why the Yankees originally got him, because now the outfield's a little bit full and there's no way to get guys in line for everything else. But I thought that's why they originally got Verdugo. But apparently he's sticking around. So if he can just keep his yap shut and do things properly, do things the Yankee way. I hate using that term because the Yankee way hasn't done anything for a long time. 14 years with one championship, 14 years and one appearance in the World Series. Okay. So let's not say the Yankee way is the only way, but this Verdugo character, watch out for him. I don't like the guy, and I think its true colors are going to come out about 2-3 weeks in the season when he's not getting any of the flash and dash or at bats or in the lineup wherever he's going to be. So look out for Verdugo. I'm not a fan of him. Kershaw didn't like him, and it turns out the Boston Red Sox fans didn't like him. And if Red Sox fans don't like one of their own guys, he can't be that good of a person. They didn't want him around. Nobody was upset about him leaving. So just watch out. Just watch where you sometimes buyer beware. And I think that's what the Yankees got with Verdugo. I hope I'm wrong, but I think that's what they got with Verdugo. One of those things. So no, it's a Christmas present come early. There's no doubt about that. For getting Soto, I thought the deal was off the tables, but getting a guy like Soto, he's going to help this team. But they still need a lot of pitching. Go out and get a Burns. Do you go out and get Dylan Cease, like I said, or do you have to overpay for it's probably going to be an overpay for a free agent? That's the way I see that going. And it's going to be a Blake Snell, who's another bit of a nozzle, but rumored has it he's going back to his hometown of Seattle. So you just wonder how that's all going to turn out. I hope to see Montgomery come back. He had a great resurgence with the Texas Rangers, won the World Series last year. The Rangers he's not going back to Rangers because they had to dump a bunch of salary, TV deals, and everything that are going up. But one of those deals, money and finances, stuff that isn't fun, but it's hot stove season. It's trade season, free agent season in baseball. So you're going to see numbers and everything else. It's going to be interesting to see what Ohtani gets. We'll get into that thing right now. Ohtani was supposed to sign with the Jays. Like I said earlier on, it's 12:57 Mountain Standard Time right now. So I held off as long as I could because I didn't want to get halfway through the show today. And then the Ohtani news came out. So if Ohtani gets signed tonight, I might go live and do something right off the bat later on today. But we'll see what happens with that. It's going to be a big deal here in Toronto. There's all kinds of rumors and speculation and press conferences being called and everything else. But there's nothing official as of right now. I heard something about Kikuchi is there with his family in Toronto as well. So that might be a telltale sign because he's usually not there. Oh, another thing with this Yamamoto guy character signing, rumor has it that what the heck's his name? I'll forget it. We'll talk about that later. But there's Tanaka had a lot to do with saying go play for the Yankees, and they listen to the guy a lot with Tanaka and Hideki Matsui as well. So that's going to help get Yamamoto to the Yankees to sign maybe a 3 or 4 year deal. And it's going to be a $25 million guy. Let's not kid ourselves. There's a lot of money that's going to be tied up with the Yankees there, but they got to go for it. They got 2 guys in Judge, and they got another guy in Cole where they've paid a lot of money for it and haven't got much in return. And Steinbrenner with that big the big expose he was going to have, all it was, all we got to do is go and spend some money and see what we can do, because the way we've been trying to do it for the last 14 years hasn't worked. People are going to complain about the Yankees overspending and everything else, but you know what? They can spend a lot of money for a lot of years and didn't do a damn thing. So let's not throw Steinbrenners to the woodshed yet, because every team who does it is spending money, and they're doing the same thing, and no one's complaining that much about the fourth and payroll Texas Rangers winning World Series. So it's one of those things. It's going to be fun to be a Yankee fan come spring training, see how this all turns out. The two-headed monster of Judge and Soto. I got the over-under set at, let's say, 98 home runs between the two of them. Let's say 98 home runs between the two of them next season. Then whatever you find out, whatever Ohtani gets, that's where the bar is going to be set for Soto next offseason. Like this time next season or next year, that's what Soto's going to end up. That's when that deal is going to happen, because I hope maybe he gets something done during the season with the Yankees, but it's hard to see. Anyways, there's 14-20 Yankee week or day in review. It's a good week to be a Yankee fan. Look out for Verdugo. I don't like the guy. I hope he proves me wrong. And cheers to getting Soto in the Yankees lineup at least for one season in pinstripes in the Bronx. Here's a word from our sponsors and a Christmas greeting from our friends over there at SeatGeek. Give Santa and his elves a break from the grind this Christmas season and ask for tickets from SeatGeek. SeatGeek has tickets for shows, concerts, and sporting events for around the globe. And by using promo code 1420POD, you will save $20 on tickets. Tickets make for great stocking stuffers and gifts, so go to SeatGeek.com or the SeatGeek app for all of your ticket needs this holiday season and use promo code 1420POD today for your Christmas ticket. There it is, 1420 POD for your $20 off for tickets over there at SeatGeek for the holiday season, and get start buying your tickets for next year too. There's going to be a lot of seats going pretty quick out there in New York City to watch that two-headed monster of Soto and Judge. We don't talk about Rizzo a lot. I quite like him, and I hope his concussion issues are behind him, because it's a tricky thing. We talked about it a little bit in the past with other athletes, how they've kind of just disappeared because of the concussions, and you hope for their health to be the utmost of importance, and that's number one, because it's what we've learned about CTE and concussions and everything else. It's a scary thing to think he played for as long as he did after his collision there with Tatis Jr. actually with San Diego. That you hope that there wasn't more long-term damage done. It's been pretty quiet on the Rizzo front, but you just hope that he's okay and can get back playing first base. He's a hell of a first baseman. He can do nothing but help the Yankees and help them get for that back to the World Championship again there. So here's a 14-20 tip of the cap to Anthony Rizzo. So hopefully something happens there on that front pretty soon. We get some good news about Rizzo. Anyways, let's do this. On this day in 1966, the New York Yankees traded Roger Maris to St. Louis Cardinals for infielder Charlie Smith. In his 7 years with the Yankees, Maris hit 203 home runs and had 547 RBIs and a batting average of .265. Maris's best year as a Yankee was in 1961 when he broke Babe Ruth's home run record of 60 with 61 round triplets of his own and 141 RBIs, both career highs. Saw him win his second consecutive MVP award. Maris would play 2 seasons in St. Louis after the trade from the Yankees, hitting 14 home runs, have 100 RBIs, and a .258 batting average. Maris's number 9 was retired by the Yankees in 1984, and he also has a plaque in Monument Park. Maris passed away at the age of 51 in Houston, Texas, of New Hopkins lymphoma, and was buried in Fargo, North Dakota. An all-time Yankee great, number 9 Roger Maris. There he is. Tip of the cap to him coming out of the dugout and everything else. The 61 and 61. And if you haven't seen that Billy Crystal documentary, if you're not a documentary, it's a movie about the Roger Maris home run chase of 61. Make sure you watch that. And you don't have to be a Yankee fan. If you're just a sports fan or a baseball fan, make sure you check that one out if you haven't already. It's a great movie. A little humor in there and everything else. It kind of shows what a bit of a dog that we all knew Mickey Mantle was, but it's a great movie, and it's a great watch for sure. So make sure you check that one out. And what do we got here? Happy 55th birthday to Mike Mussina, born on this day in the home of Little League Baseball, Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Mussina was drafted twice by the Baltimore Orioles, first out of high school, 11th round, and then the first round, the 20th overall in 1990 out of Stanford University. Mussina made his major league debut on August 4th, 1991, in front of 41,059 people at Comiskey Park in Chicago, going 7 2/3, giving up 4 hits, walking 4. His only blemish that day was a solo home run in the 6th to Frank Thomas. Mussina signed with the Yankees in December of 2000 and pitched coached there for 8 seasons. Mussina's shining moment as a Yankee came in Game 7 of 2003 ALCS versus Boston when he came in to the game and relieved Roger Clemens to stop the bleeding a little bit in the 4th inning and gave the Yankees a chance at coming back. He pitched 3 scoreless innings out of the bullpen. His 8 years with the Yankees, 147 and 81 record, 3.53 ERA, 12 complete games, 8 shutouts, 1,278 strikeouts in 1,553 innings. Mike Mussina, the only reason why Aaron Boone is the manager today of the New York Yankees is because Mussina came in, stopped the bleeding in 2003, and gave Aaron Boone the opportunity to hit that home run off of Tim Wakefield in the bottom 11th inning of the 2003 ALCS. Put that one in the bank. That's a guarantee, right from 1420 World Headquarters. You heard it here first. Without Mike Mussina, there is no Aaron Boone. So maybe blame Mussina. No, I'm a Boone guy. I don't think Boone does a bad job. Anyways, we've got some great news earlier on, about half an hour before we started recording here. I'm one of the 1420 podcast, and we are the one of the. We're voted or been nominated for the one of the creators of the year across the network. That goes with writers, podcasters, video guys, and everything else. So we've been nominated for one of the 4 creators of the year for Belly Up, the Belly Up Network. So kind of proud here, a little proud moment for all the hard work that everybody puts in behind the scenes here and everything that we do here at 1420 and everybody who listens and on and on. So thank you very much to Belly Up Sports for the nomination for that. And it's an honor to be nominated. One of those things. Who am I kidding? I want to win. You want to win. Get that title or whatever the prize is, or trophy, or pat in the back. Remember, pat in the back is only 3 feet and a kick in the ass. There it is. There's thank you very much to Belly Up Sports, obviously, for all the help that they give us throughout the year, and on and on goes. So, and make sure you check out the show me and Dave did last night. It was a little lower key last night than usual, but we still had some laughs. And I was on the Corner Booth podcast. We did a lot of football talked a little bit of baseball. So check out Jared and the guys over at the Corner Booth podcast. A lot of fun recording with them last night. But make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel, and on it goes. That's all I got today. Remember, it doesn't matter where you are; it's who you're with. And actually, I'm supposed to say baseball. You know what? Smart people bunt. Have a good day, folks. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
You just listened to the 1420 Sports Bar podcast. 4 beer with the sports, talking a whole lot more. We are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Let's get into it.